Now, relations between the U.S. and Afghanistan are in jeopardy after the latest killing of civilians by American troops in the war zone. The Afghan president says 7 children and a woman died in a U.S. airstrike on Wednesday. Well, NATO claims the incident took place during a counter-terror operation and admits that at least 2 civilians were killed by mistake. It's the latest in a series of collateral damage scandals that have shaken U.S.-Afghan relations, and Kabul has repeatedly demanded an end to night raids and airstrikes in civilian areas. Well, let's now bring in Afghan political analyst Habib Hakimi, who joins us live here on RT International. Thank you so much, Mr. Hakimi, for being with us. So, in your opinion, why are these deadly NATO raids are still happening?
This incident has repeated in Afghanistan many times in the past years, and President Karzai always condemned this action by the foreign forces in Afghanistan and demanded from the NATO countries and from the United States to stop military operation, particularly air operation in residential areas in Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, but still the American forces and NATO forces are operating in different parts of the country, in the villages and the homes of Afghan people, targeting the Taliban militants and the Al-Qaeda members. The government of Afghanistan demands the stop of military operation in the villages of Afghanistan, but the American forces and the NATO forces said they are targeting the militants, not the civilians. Sometimes they kill the civilians, some civilians by mistake. And yesterday this happened again in the country, and the government of Afghanistan says 6 children and a woman have been killed in air strike by NATO forces. But NATO, in a statement, in an official statement, said that we are targeted a commander of Taliban and some other Taliban fighters in the area. Probably we have targeted some civilians, but we are going to investigate the incident and.
Yeah. Mr. Hakimi, as we can see, things are not getting better on the ground for the locals in Afghanistan. But let's now analyze the situation specifically. How likely is the Kabul government to agree to grant Americans immunity from Afghan law after 2014? I mean, things are not getting better now, but what will happen afterwards, much later in 2014, in your opinion?
Actually, the security situation is worsening in the country, and there is no sign that Americans or NATO will be able to stop the war in Afghanistan and to decrease the activities of Taliban in the future, because they have not stopped it in the past 10, 11 years, and I think it would not be able to defeat the Taliban after 2014 as well. But the American are wondering to sign the security agreement with Afghanistan, and they are willing to change the situation in the future. In another word, the war and the security situation in Afghanistan is very complicated, and there is
speaking of the security situation,
that Americans will be able to solve the problem.
Yeah, speaking of the security situation that you mentioned, which is not getting better, as you said, Washington is threatening to pull all of its troops out of Afghanistan unless Kabul signs the security pact. So is this likely to happen? Do you think things will go that far?
Exactly. Many people believe in Afghanistan, and I believe as well the situation will be worse if the American troops leave Afghanistan by the end of 2014. But the Afghan government and the people of Afghanistan demand that the Afghan government should sign the security agreement with the United States to stabilize the country, because the Afghan army and Afghan security forces and the government of Afghanistan will be not able to confront the Taliban and to battle the Taliban by itself. Because of this, there is a great need for American presence in Afghanistan after 2014, and now the Taliban are able to deteriorate the situation, and they are able to target to target Afghan and foreign forces in different parts of the country, and the Taliban will boost their presence in Afghanistan if the American forces leave Afghanistan at all.
All right, political analyst Habib Hakimi, thank you so much for sharing your views with us and for describing what the situation is like on the ground for a lot of Afghans there.